There is no better time to start collecting Lugers than now if you aren't already collecting Lugers, because these examples offered are right out of Jan Still's collection. He was the Jedi Master of Luger collecting. He had a better eye than anybody, so he did most of the work for you already. So you know it's good if it's coming out of his stuff. And these are some of the finest high-condition examples we will ever get of their kind. So kicking it off at the front of the table here, we have this early Sneak Luger with police unit markings on the front strap. How neat is that? Not to mention, it comes with a holster, also marked with those matching police unit markings, the Landjägerie, if I pronounce that right. And then moving up the table here in front of it, we also have another early Weimar-era Luger with no date on the chamber and a DWM marking. I want to point out that Sneak Luger ahead of it that I mentioned, it has no markings on the toggle or chamber. This gun has no markings on the chamber. So at this time, they were kind of being sneaky about marking these and showing that they were actually making guns at this time. Because of the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was not allowed to make military-type guns, chambered in 9mm with these 4-inch barrel lengths. So they were trying to be under the table. So collectors have termed this a Sneak Luger at the front of the table, and then this one is an early Alphabet Luger, as Jan Still refers to it. And this is also just a really neat piece. It's one of the best of its kind we'll get our hands on. And you'll see they started to get a little more bold, but they were still trying to be sneaky. So here we have a G date over here, and this actually dates to 1935. And now this is Mauser manufactured. So those were DWMs over there. Now Mauser's making Lugers, and the G date, 1935. It's a code for a 1935 date on top of the chamber. This is a really nice one we've got here. And then over in that corner, there's a 1937 dated Mauser. Both of these guns, the G and the 37, have S42 codes on top of their toggles. That's the Mauser manufacturer code. I have a 38 here. We've got a 39 over in the corner. And it didn't just end there. There's Krieghoff Lugers over here, which were what the Luftwaffe used. And we have the first year production, a 36, just a pristine example, and a 37 over there. Beautiful guns. The Krieghoffs have kind of a higher polished blue to them, as you can see. And Jan Still's collecting didn't just end with Lugers. In his publications, he covers many types of guns that were issued to the Axis powers, such as we have this early Baby Nambu at the front of the table, a beautiful example once again. Some of these were used by Japanese officers. It costed them probably 3 months worth of their paycheck just to be able to acquire one of these private purchase. But this gun is pictured in one of Jan Still's publications, right out of his collection once again. At the corner we have a Mauser HSC, a Kriegsmarine gun. This is a German Navy Mauser HSC, if you will. Also photographed in Jan Still's publication, Axis Pistols. What a beautiful example. And in front of me, I have a broom handle. Not just any broom handle, though. This is a very rare broom handle. This one has a Finnish property marking on it, an SA in a box. And this is one that the Finns would have used during the Winter War of 1939, where they fought the Russians. Very hard to find. Very neat gun. Let alone all the rest of these guns on the table. What better time than now to get into Luger collecting? Offered here is Lugers right out of the collection of the man who wrote the book himself, Jan Still's Lugers. It doesn't get much more special than this, and these are going to be for sale right here at Rock Island Auction Company in our December premiere auction.